From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN Noon News.
Good afternoon and welcome to your MTN Noon News. I'm Augusta McDonnell. Let's get right to our top story. 'Tis the season for gift returns. With Christmas now in the rearview window, many stores were slammed yesterday with shoppers exchanging or returning gifts. But as our David J. reports, brick and mortar retail stores say business was up this holiday season, and not just here, but all across the country.
It's hard to say if there is an increase in in-person shopping on the West End, but there is some agreement with the National Retail Federation about why people may be returning to the malls and some of the stores.
Oh, I like that one too.
Whether you love to shop or not, sometimes it's best to come into the store when buying clothing.
The right fit and color. Yep, the same quality as it looks like online.
Teresa Ohl helps her husband shop at Jason's Clothing for Men in West Billings. The Ohls are from Bridger, and Teresa says it seems like more people are shopping in person in small towns, and she likes the old-time shopping.
Customer service is a big thing. I like the small, like mom and pop type shops. Just seems to be better customer service.
The National Retail Federation projected that more than 157 million customers would shop the Saturday before Christmas, almost an 11% increase over last year, and there would be a slight increase with less than half shopping in stores. Sheldon Allweiss carries on the tradition of Jason's that started with his grandfather in the early 1900s.
You gotta try it on, and once you try it on, they're happy. So it's all good.
The day after Christmas is a busy one for brick and mortar stores, with many making holiday exchanges and returns. The National Retail Federation estimates stores lost more than $100 billion in return scams last year on returns of $743 billion. That's prompted some major retailers like Amazon to begin charging return fees on some items. Others, like Target and REI, even limit some customers from making returns.
Even some of our big box stores or your big national chains are charging for returns. This is not something I've ever entertained.
If it's not right for them, it's not right for us, and we want it to be right.
A survey shows that 59% say a limited return policy would deter them from making some purchases.
Shopping here locally is that, hey, I can take the package that I bought right back to the store and you know what the return policy is, rather than dealing with trying to get it shipped back to wherever you bought it from.
A perk of in-person shopping during a week when local retailers depend on that traffic.
You get that human connection, right, which you can't get when you're just clicking a button online.
In Billings, David J., MTN News.
And if you're looking to make some returns, make sure to check store websites for their specific return policies. Apple, for example, allows eligible holiday purchases to be returned through January 8th. Best Buy, January 14th. Lululemon, January 23rd. And Amazon, Macy's, Kohl's, and Walmart have extended guidelines through January 31st for most items. Along with returns, the busy holiday travel week also in full swing. Airports are packed from coast to coast. In Billings, the headaches that accompany holiday travel start right outside the airport's front door this year. MTN's Matt Carmack reports.
In December alone, the Billings International Airport has already reached over 80,000 passengers. And because of new flight options and, of course, the holiday season, the parking situation has become quite a bit of an issue.
I've never seen it like this at all. No, this is the first time.
Parked cars as far as the eye can see, a problem the Billings Airport has hardly ever dealt with.
So we're seeing numbers of travelers more than we did in our record-setting year of 2019.
Mick McCarthy is an airport operations supervisor. Every morning, Mick gets to work at 3 a.m. and counts the amount of spots available. He said recently all those open spots have already been claimed by 5 a.m.
We don't have any really quick fix for the problem. We're just doing the best we can and serve our customers the best we can, and hopefully everybody can see that.
On Thursday, cars were parked in the overflow lot, grassy areas near the rims, and all the way past the Beacon Air Group. Some cars parked 0.8 of a mile away from the airport's front doors.
A lot of people are just tired of staying home, I think. You know, it's just steadily been increasing after COVID. Everybody kind of was stuck at home. And so we've been seeing an increase every year after that.
Brian Shanahan, who was on his way to Buffalo, was surprised by the parking problems, but thankful to encounter an airport shuttle now transporting travelers to the terminal.
I appreciate the shuttle. Yeah, I didn't know they'd have a shuttle there. I thought I'd just have to walk it in. They said, no, you don't need to walk, man. We'll call our shuttle. So Here I am.
And some were luckier than others, like Nick Verts, who happened to find his spot in the actual long-term parking lot, likely seconds after a car left.
Yeah, I can't complain at all.
Until the holiday season slows down, airport staff is planning on creative short-term solutions to get them through these next couple of weeks, in hopes of eventually building a parking garage or another lot.
We'll continue to run the shuttle, regardless if we're doing snow removal, because we don't want our passengers to have to walk that quarter-mile plus back in the snowstorm dragging their suitcases.
In Billings, Matt Carmack, MTN News.
Let's take a look at the slopes up at Cook City. Today, the Gallatin National Forest Avalanche Center is warning of a considerable risk of avalanches near Bozeman, Big Sky, West Yellowstone, Island Park, and Cook City. GNFAC tells us that it snowed 5 to 7 inches there, with more expected today. Moderate avalanche danger is also possible for the northern Gallatin Range. Officials say conditions are developing even now, which will cause the avalanche danger to rise to high this weekend.
Happy Friday, everybody, and TGIF boom as we cruise on into the final weekend of 2024. Look at your forecast coming up. What's going on across the U.S. today? Your headlines for the 48s. Lower 48, we're looking at above average temperatures again today. Northwestern U.S., stormy weather pattern to continue into the weekend with lower elevation rain and higher elevation snow. We're going to be involved in that, folks. In fact, some of us could wake up to a decent amount of snowfall as we wrap up the weekend into the first part of next week, and some colder temperatures coming into play. Also, lower Mississippi Valley, Tennessee Valley, Appalachians, Mid-Atlantic states in the Northeast. Increasingly wet pattern coming into play across the weekend. Our local forecasts are coming up next.
And in today's leading look, we've got new information to bring you on the deadly Helena apartment fire. Lewis and Clark County Sheriff Coroner Leo Dutton identified the woman who died as 56-year-old Wendy Farrell of Helena. Dutton said there's no indication of foul play. Firefighters were dispatched to reports of a fire on Livingston Avenue around 7:30 Tuesday morning. Firefighters there discovered Farrell inside the apartment and attempted life-saving measures. Fire investigators say the fire appears to be electrical in nature and from an outlet strip. And the West Yellowstone Police Department is mourning the loss of one of its own this morning, as one of the town's 5 officers have died. The police department announced the passing of Officer Ashley Stoneburner on social media. While the department isn't saying how Officer Stoneburner died, the department has issued a reminder about the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. And a class action lawsuit filed in Arizona is accusing state officials there of ignoring whistleblowers who tried to warn them about a nearly $3 billion scandal. That scandal involved many victims from Montana. Fraudulent sober living homes would recruit clients from Indian reservations across the western United States, often hiring people to transport the clients to Arizona. It was only after these clients arrived that they would learn no services would be provided. And a 31-year-old Pablo man was shot and killed early Christmas morning after what police are calling a disturbance in Polson. The Polson Police Department reports that Lake County 911 took several calls for a shooting around 3 a.m. on Wednesday. When law enforcement responded, they found 31-year-old Sheldon Fisher had been shot and killed during a disturbance involving several people. According to Polson police, several people were arrested, including the suspected shooter. That incident is under investigation. On Thursday, we brought you the first of a 2-part series, taking a closer look at Montana's Medicaid expansion before the legislature's upcoming session, where they'll debate whether to renew the program. Today, MTN senior political reporter Jonathan Ambarian speaks to some of the lawmakers who will make the decisions about what happens next.
The Montana legislature approved expanding Medicaid in 2015. Then in 2019, they agreed to extend the program through 2025. But both times, the issue split majority Republicans. Now, with Republicans continuing to control the legislature and also holding the governor's office, leaders will have to decide whether the expansion will continue and whether to make changes to the program.
We've created a program that's working extremely well, and it's been a huge benefit for Montanans, and especially in the mental health and addiction areas, and to lose that would be catastrophic for the state.
Republican Representative Ed Buttry of Great Falls sponsored Medicaid expansion in 2015 and 2019, and he says he's planning to bring a bill this session to simply remove the sunset date. Buttry says the goal was that expansion would both get Montanans healthier and keep more of them in the workforce, and he believes it's been a success.
We heard a lot of things. We heard it would bankrupt the state. We heard that once folks get on the program, they'll never get off. And that, like I said, we now have 10 years worth of data that shows the exact opposite to be true. It's been a net positive for our state budget and the taxpayers. People are going off of the program once they get the help they need.
After reaching as high as 125,000 in 2023, the number of adults on Medicaid expansion in Montana was down to just over 77,000 in September 2024. That decline started after the Montana Department of Public Health and Human Services resumed eligibility redeterminations after the end of the COVID-19 public health emergency. Once again, Republicans are split on extending Medicaid expansion. Matt Regier, the incoming Senate president, voted against expansion in 2019 while in the House, and still opposes it today. He calls it a welfare program, argues it's helped hospitals more than individuals, and says there should be a closer look at options like requiring recipients to work.
It is taking taxpayer money and giving it to somebody else in the population. I'm all for, too, of a safety net. It's the question that we're going to have to answer is, when does a safety net become just a lifestyle and not a safety net anymore?
Governor Greg Gianforte told reporters last month that he was including Medicaid expansion in his budget proposal for 2025, but he wants to see added work requirements. The state already approved requirements for work or other community engagement in 2019, but hasn't received a federal waiver to implement them. Buttry says he hopes Montana will have another shot at getting that approval once the Trump administration takes over. Democrats joined with some Republicans to pass Medicaid expansion initially, and they say it's again a priority for them to get it extended. They say they're open to discussions about new ideas, but believe what Montana already has compares well against other states.
I think that we've got a lot of data that shows Montana's Medicaid program is working and a lot of data that shows some of these other programs are not.
The legislature will get underway here at the state capitol on January 6th, 1 week from Monday. That will be just under 6 months before the current sunset date for Medicaid expansion, June 30th. In Helena, Jonathan Amberian, MTN News.